Hey, hello. You're stuck in traffic with Wolf Gorlick, and today with me I've got Dave Schwartzberg. And Dave Schwartzberg, what brings you out here? Who are you with?
I am with Mobile Iron, and I'm a mobile security engineer and also a member of the Mobile Iron Security Labs.
Fantastic. Now, so oftentimes when we're looking at attack vectors, right, we're talking about our devices, we're talking about our end users who are doing BYOD and any number of things. But we've been doing BYOD for a while now.
We have.
And
everyone has. Almost everyone.
I'm trying to think the last time that I had a corporate phone. I think it was a BlackBerry, which goes to show it was a while.
It was a while ago.
What do you have to say about people who are starting to push back and say, look, I keep hearing about mobile threats, but I'm not really seeing them?
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to believe that there's a lot of hype out there on mobile threats and mobile security, especially if you're really not seeing it. But I day to day am talking to different executives and IT people and people trying to either come up with a mobile strategy, even with BYOD, or just even the corporate-owned devices, because some of them, they're issuing now Android tablets in retail, or I've even seen that in airlines, and they're using them as point-of-sale terminals. So now, okay, we got PCI involved.
Yep.
How do we keep that secure? So there's a lot of things out there. You could say, just the typical stuff of making sure the device is checking in, you know where it is, right? You look at like the SAN CSC, where's the device? I don't know. Well, it's now a security threat.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing goes for mobile. It's really no different. But if you want to talk about like containerizing the data, making sure the traffic leaving the mobile device is secure, because remember the beginning of the days when apps, or even banking apps, were not using HTTPS on the back end, or the developers forget to turn that on after they deploy the app. Things like that. But the whole point around the hype is if you have users on mobile devices, you need a way to make sure that those mobile devices connecting back into your network, even if it's like a typical VPN client, don't have a threat, don't have some mobile malware on there. And a lot of times they don't kind of identify themselves as malware, as we're kind of know on the PC and the Mac space. It might look like just any other app, but now it has access to everything on that phone if it's not secure. And then once you turn on that VPN client, now it has access to everything in your network.
That's a good point, and I tweeted this out a couple weeks ago, maybe a week ago now, when Pokemon Go hit, and this is the most recent example of this. It wasn't available everywhere.
No.
So people started uploading Pokemon Go APKs, and people were downloading what they thought was the game, but were infecting themselves, right? And of course, what do we do as parents oftentimes? Oh, Child X, here, you look bored, have my phone. So there was, I'm imagining, quite a few organizations that had this infected software on their systems.
Yeah, and that, when you say APK, for anyone that's not familiar, that's specific to Android. It's really hard to do that with iOS unless you have a developer certificate and you want to kind of sideload it that way through the developer program. But yeah, with Android devices or tablets, when you have that APK that's uploaded, while you might get that kind of warm and fuzzy that it's an okay app to download, generally speaking, once you install that app, because the manifest file that comes with an Android APK, it's going to warn you what that app wants to do. Now, granted, if it's the first time you're installing it, you're not going to know everything about what that app wants to do. But now here's where you kind of need to use your spidey senses a little bit. And if there's something that pops up that says it's going to use SMS, and Google does a really good job that kind of identifies that with a different color that might be cost.
Email.
Well, I mean, it's going to, it obviously wants to use location services, right?
Services.
Right. It's an augmented reality game. But if it's going to start to want to be able to send certain things from your device, which it really shouldn't be sending, that's when your spidey senses should go off and just say, I did turn on allow unknown sources, and this app does seem to want to do something that doesn't really make me feel comfortable, then don't install it. I had the same problem when I was in Asia just a little while ago. We wanted to get the app. Well, we use iOS, and we just had to wait. But then we finally got it, but there was really nothing going on over there because they didn't open up in Asia. But if you're that eager to play the game, and there'll be the next Pokemon Go, whatever it is, this is going to happen again. You gotta not just trust the technology to protect you. You gotta have a little bit of that regular security awareness training, and know that if it doesn't feel right, it's not.
So how does MDM, Mobile Data Management Solutions, how do they help in that?
Well, let's just pretend it is Pokemon Go. The device is a BYOD device, and the device is registered to Mobile Iron. if you also are using some third-party application reputation or app reputation services or threat protection services, that app would be analyzed by their lab.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's analyzed by their lab, they're plugging into MobileIron and they're assessing that app with a risk value. So in MobileIron, you just say if that app has a certain risk value of, let's just say anything more than 75% risky, 65% risky, 75% risky, whatever number you want, has a high risk value, quarantine that device.
Okay.
And if there's corporate data on it, rip it off. Or if
quarantine,
email,
revoke the access to the data.
Revoke access to email, notify the user. You can even notify the IT or the IS or whoever in IR needs to know that there's this potentially, risky device going to get on your network. But with us, you can completely remove the data. And now that this device is quarantined, the user can't really go and re-enroll. They've got to find the app, remove the app, and once the device is clean again, then they can get back in and access corporate data.
Perfect. So we're about up in time, but tip for you, if you're concerned about BYOD or you're concerned about these devices, is the threat real? Yeah, people are getting malware all the time. This stuff is happening constantly. If you're looking for a solution, consider mobile data management, MDM, and make sure that solution can do quarantine, can do revoke, can take the access to the data off, can take the data itself off, and protect you until your IT organization or security organization has the opportunity to triage it. So with that, thanks so much, Dave.
Hey, thanks for having me. Awesome. Let's get back to B-Sides Detroit.
Woohoo! Cheers.